Hey there. So today is day 12 of using AI to launch fully customized, super beautiful, automated trading bots. Okay. At the beginning of the stream here, there was like a 10-second absence because my computer glitched out, but do not sweat it. Okay. Because here's what we're going to do today. We are going to log in to Arcade. We're going to check the past 11 days. And it's been, I think, 2 or 3 days since I last posted. So we're going to have a good amount of new, fresh data to actually analyze and see, what's working, what's not. And then from there, we're actually going to use Arcade to launch a brand new bot. And today we have a user suggestion. We're going to be launching an automated option strategy, two of them actually. Actually, only one that a user suggested on YouTube. So that's what we're going to do today. That's the agenda. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now and kind of show you uh, Arcade, right? So this is Arcade. This is the platform we're going to be using. Um, and again, the agenda is we're going to go through each and every single one of these bots from the past 11 days and then actually launch a brand new bot today for day 12, right? So day zero, right, is historically speaking a bloodbath. Okay. Um, it's only taken one trade, at least historically speaking, right? And it is a simple moving average crossover strategy. So the odds of it have taking another trade are slim. Just because again, we're looking for that momentum upwards, and the market has actually been, pretty much, headed on a downtrend recently. So I highly doubt we took another trade, and it's probably still at the exact same thing. And it is, right? It's kind of what we expected, an $8,665 loss. And we have about, $3 worth of trades because we only took one, or $3 worth of fees because we took one trade. And so we really don't have much new data on this. So it's really, it's nothing really to write home about. Still not very happy, obviously, with the performance. Now, I am happy that we, haven't felt much of this recent downtrend. Like we haven't been in trades recently, in with at least with this strategy because of the fact that the market has been pretty much tanking recently. Um, but anyways, that being said, that's day zero, right? No real updates there. Now, day one is kind of where things get interesting. And this strategy takes some trades, right? This strategy, pretty much every time we've checked it, whether it's up market, down market, sideways market, has taken trades. Um, and again, it's a pattern that I recognized last time that highlights the importance of what strategy you use. Because right now we're trading NVIDIA, right? Um, and on other strategies, you'll see that we're also trading NVIDIA, but this strategy historically has been profitable where other strategies have been at a loss, right? We're losing on other strategies, even though we're still trading the exact same underlying asset. So, anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and cut to the chase and look at the actual performance of this RSI overbought. Yep, it's great. Overbought, oversold strategy, RSI. We made almost $11,000, which is about the same as where we were last time. And you could see that here. All of these trades kind of kept us. It has taken trades since we last checked it, but it's just kind of been at this flat line. So we haven't made money. We haven't lost money since the last time that we checked it, which is, not necessarily a bad thing. I guess it is kind of a bad thing when you think about the fact that fees are starting to rack up, right? So we got about $50 worth of fees. So that's definitely something to consider, right? As you're, deciding what strategy to use. But we'll do one other thing as we're here is we'll look at the like the underlying asset. So let me pull up the NVIDIA chart 1 second. So if I go NVDA and I share this tab instead, right? So you can see NVIDIA, like the underlying asset is right here. And so let's go back to our main tab. We started trading on the 27th of October. And we have grown our portfolio basically a cumulative amount of about 11 grand. Um, we um, we are risking uh I mean, we've traded huge volume. So $61,000 basically is what we're getting here. So $61,000 is, we're going to say that that is the amount that we have invested in here. So let's say we made 11,000, right, for conversation's sake, and that is over 61,000. So approximately 18% return here, right? So like a little, that's a little over, right? What the actual return is, but it's about 18% return since October 27th. It is the 23rd, so it's been about a month. So about 18% in a month. Now, if I go over here and look at the underlying asset, NVIDIA, and I look at what NVIDIA has done over the past month, it is actually down 1.8%, right? So NVIDIA is down on the month 1.8%. However, the RSI overbought oversold strategy on the 5-minute time frame over this last month is up 18%, right? So again, it just goes to show you that the strategy you choose is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly powerful. Now, again, not only is the strategy very powerful, but this software literally automates the execution of the strategy, which makes it like, so I'm literally like, I do nothing and this thing just trades for me, right? And so I'm beginning to like the strategy. Obviously, it back tested well. And so that's really great. But also time will tell, right? Whether or not the strategy is awesome or not, right? Like, so maybe we'll let it run for a couple more months and see what the performance is there. But overall, again, NVIDIA has been down 1.8%. The math we just did, right? Risking, 61 grand per trade, we made 11 grand. Um, you know, that's 18% return on the month where the underlying asset is down 1.8. I mean, it's about 10 times better, right? So instead of 1.8, you're getting 18%, right? So actually it's way more than 10 times better. It's actually infinitely better because you're either taking a loss or you're taking a gain, right? So anyways, that's day one. I'm really happy with the performance there. Number two, day two is a totally different story. I'll be honest with you. This has been our worst performer, historically speaking. I am just going to cut to the chase. It's not good. I mean, and by the way, again, check out. Remember the pattern I said earlier. Nvidia, right? This is still Nvidia. I mean, we're trading Tesla and Nvidia, but you'll see shortly. This is probably underperforming the underlying asset, right? You'd probably be better off at a buy and hold. I mean, hey, it's not as bad. This strategy has been down like close to $20,000. So 7,700 loss is actually an improvement, honestly. And you can see that little bump here. Let's go all, right? So we saw that the NVIDIA strategy on the other one was a pretty nice gain, 18% return. But again, this green line represents NVIDIA here, right? Let's go ahead and just take this out here and just look at NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA with this strategy, the RSI divergence strategy, and it's taken a tremendous loss, right? So we lost again, yeah, so like 20 grand, right? On this, right? And so again, it looks like I'm not sure if these numbers update automatically with the let's go and plop that there. No, they don't update automatically. So I'm interested to see how much we risk on just Nvidia, right? But let's assume it's the same. Let's assume it's $35,000. So with a $35,000, risk, right? We lost $20,000, right? So let's look at this, right? So 20 divided by, what did we say? It was 35. Oh, sorry. So it's 20 divided by 35. I did my math incorrectly. Let's do. Yeah, so about a 57% loss, right? In the same time frame. I mean, like, listen, we're talking about, I mean, this is less than a month, right? So in less than a month, the underlying asset is down 1.8%. And this Nvidia with the RSI divergence strategy is down like 20 grand, right? In a smaller time frame, right? And again, it's so interesting because on the day two strategy, on the day one strategy, the RSI overbought oversold, we're actually making money, right? We made 18%. So this lost 57%. the underlying asset, right, lost 1.8%. And then the day one strategy still on NVIDIA made 18%, right? So again, this is why strategy is so crucial, dude. Like if your strategy is killer, you're going to make money. You know what I mean? And that's really what we preach here is like do your due diligence, investigate and back test whatever you need to do, paper trade, and do deep digging, because there is a strategy out there that will help you in your trading. It just will, right? And so, anyways, the mean reversion strategy is what we did on day 3. I put eyes here because it back tested really well, but we haven't really seen it take any trades. So let's see if we have any updates. Yep, still no trades on day 3. And this kind of gets into like after day 4, it gets it historically has been kind of boring because there's been no trades. But let's look at day 4. This has historically been a loser. Yeah, so still down in the loser. Every time I check this, it kind of goes down like just little by little, like death by 1,000 cuts. It's nothing crazy. But anyway, so day 5 is another eyeball. We back tested really well, but I don't think it's taken any trades. So still hasn't taken any trades, unfortunately. I wish there was more to show you here on these. This one again still probably has not taken any trades. Yeah, I wish I could show you some stuff on these things, man. Day 7 is again no trades. The orb strategy on day 8, this was a user recommended. A user recommended this strategy or requested strategy. The orb, the opening range breakout strategy, was requested by Peter from YouTube. He's a YouTube subscriber. And again, it didn't really backtest great, but and it hasn't really taken any trades. So nothing really to report there. The dual moving average crossover strategy. It did take one trade, made $90, so not horrible. But again, nothing really to write home about either. Day 10, stochastic oscillator divergence. Let's go ahead and check that one. This took a loss, and fees are it's 12 trades, $62, $63 loss. Not great. And again, this is NVIDIA right here too. So again, like it just goes to show you we're making money on other strategies. This strategy is losing money on NVIDIA, right? So day 11 is what we did yesterday. Performance here is again no trades. And when I say yesterday, I actually mean it has an open position that is actually currently a loser. So we'll monitor that. But yeah, in general, that is the update there. And again, if you have a strategy that you want to be tested, just leave it in the comments below. Before we move on to this next section, if you know someone who's a nerd and loves trading and loves automation and loves AI, again, this platform, helps you monitor all your trades, helps you automate all your trades, and really also you'll see shortly you could really learn pretty much any trading concept you want. So make sure if you're interested in this stuff, subscribe. And there's also a link if you want to use this software in the description below. Okay. So wherever you're watching this, it should be there. But again, if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I just mentioned, feel free to leave it in the comment section. If you have a strategy you want to be tested, like the one we're about to test, you just let me know and I will test it for us. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up on a separate tab. Okay. The comment that I received shortly. Okay. I'm working on getting this content here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So this is it right here. So Peter was the guy who asked for the orb strategy, but this guy right here, this is the strategy he asked for, right? So he asked for this. I asked him for a deeper breakdown, and this is what he gave me. So let's go right here and just literally copy it. And again, I'm not sure. So Sarua BH, I cannot pronounce your name. I won't even try, and believe me, my last name is pretty hard to pronounce, right? So bear with me. I'll tag you as a thank you for recommending it. But and then if hopefully you could teach me how to say your name, okay? But anyways, so once we have this strategy, all we have to do is just paste it in here. So I'm just gonna try and clean this up a little bit. Boom, first indicator. So do that. And again, I don't know the strategy. I really also don't trade options. So, but again, the platform will allow you to automate any option strategy and then also backtest any option strategy. But just I myself am not an options trader. I'm more of a like position trader. So anyways, we're gonna just literally do exactly as he said, right? We just cleaned it up a little bit, but everything pretty much is left exactly as he said it. The AI is thinking and will likely give us a list of questions as you see here. It gives us a list of questions and that we'll need to answer here. So let's go ahead and do this. So the first question it gave us is the entry conditions. You mentioned an insider breakout, a bar breakout entry. Could you specify the exact conditions that define the breakout? For example, is it when the current bar's high is greater than the previous bar's high? How do the 200 SMA and orb factor in the entry? So again, I'll tag you. Uh, I'm gonna call you from now on. I'll call you uh, Sarah. I'll call you Sarah. So Sarah, I'm gonna do my best but if again, if you want to comment on this video and just let me know if I'm doing this incorrectly, you just let me know and then I'll adjust it, right? But I'm just gonna do what I normally do, right? Which is use default values. So again, this is like boring, but again, this is not my strategy, so I'm gonna do my best. Use popular default values. For the exit conditions, we're gonna do the exact same thing here. So you mentioned exiting at either stop loss level or one of the indicators levels. So yeah, so like we're kind of vague here, so it really just needs more detail, Sarah. Um, yeah. So right here, we're kind of being vague. I'm gonna try my best and just say use popular default levels and 3 stop loss. Yeah, Sarah, you're gonna have to kind of and it's fine, right? This is like this is actually a really, really good thing, right? Like you could tell, right? If you have like literally I just copied and pasted his thing. The platform Arcade, right, really demands that you are, you know, telling you exactly what you want, right? Like this is your strategy. It really doesn't leave much room for error, which is amazing. But again, it kind of like when I'm the one doing it for you, it makes it maybe a little bit harder to actually see the strategy, right? In the way that you envisioned it come to life. So, but again, we're going to do our best. So, clarify if it refers to the low of the entry bar for the long positions and the high of the entry bar. I'm just going to again say use popular default values. I'm going to try my best. I don't want to misrepresent your strategy in any way. VWAP TP, could you specify the exact conditions that would trigger a take profit? For example, is it when the price hits a certain multiple of the VWAP? Again, I'm going to stick with my trusty dusty popular default values. We're probably going to have to end up answering because it's not going to like how vague we're being. But whatever. Since should eggs conditions be on the options premium? So I'm going to say on this one, I will say it's options premium. So again, it's probably not going to like our answers here to the questions, but again, this is not my strategy. So we're going to give it our best, right? And hope for the best. So we'll wait for it to be done thinking, and which it is right now. Yeah, it can't multiple interpretations of each of your points. For example, is the current bar? For example, is it when the current bar's high is greater than the previous bar's high? So yeah, I'm just gonna like again, Sarah. I'm sorry if I'm misrepresenting your strategy, brother. Not my intention. But I'm gonna go ahead and just um, I'm just gonna when anything it says, I'm just gonna put it here, right? So uh, it it is when, right? That's number one. Um, so I'm just gonna do this, right? Again, I'm literally just copying it from the strategy. I'm not trying to, uh, you know, um, really put much thought into the strategy itself. I'm just literally taking, it says like, for example, I'm just using the example. But again, Sarah, if you're seeing this, which again, I'll tag you. Hopefully you do see it. Um, please feel free to answer these questions and I will ensure that it gets done the way that you envisioned it. So, or if you don't want to share the specifics, the link is in the description. You could sign up and kind of test it out yourself. So, anyways, indicator levels, please specify what you mean by one of the indicator levels. Um, so, yeah, I mean, this isn't really great, right? Yeah, yeah. So again, we're being I really don't want to infer anything. So we're just gonna go again, like kind of like this. This is a easy one for us to kind of. This is again a recommendation, or not a recommendation, but an example. So we'll just use the example. Um, stop loss. Yeah, so we'll just use this, I guess. Again, whenever there's an example or like, do you mean it's trying to clarify? I'm just using that. So again, hopefully it somewhat accurately represents what you want. When you say VWAP TP, do you mean when the price hits a certain multiple? Um, so uh, I'm gonna say if I can't really figure it out myself, I'm gonna say ignore VWAP TP. There's no examples or anything like that. I can't I don't want to infer. So again, I'm sorry, Sarah. Hopefully, you can answer these questions for us, and we'll test out, the updated items here for you. But so, anyways, so great. Here's the summary of the strategy. This is what it's going to be doing. So, Sarah, if you want to pause here and read what it's doing, um, again, this is not probably not what you want in terms of what you had envisioned for this first strategy. But again, take the time to clarify some of these questions, or again, sign up for the software yourself, and test it out. But we're going to be using this um, strategy right here. Again, it's options premium data, so we're going to actually be able to backtest with the options premium data, which is going to be exciting. And again, the AI is thinking and working, extracting the rules, and generating the code. Um, and soon here, it will basically be complete, and we'll see a new strategy populate over here. And again, I built this software right because of the fact that I used to trade, or I still do trade, but it's through this automation. Um, I used to trade manually, right? And I had, a really intense job in tech. And while I was working that intense job in tech, I had a side business flipping real estate. I was like 19, 20 years old. And then in addition to, my business and my job, I was also trading, right? Manually, managing, pretty good amount of money. And I was missing trades and I was so stressed out that I broke down crying. And so, anyways, it whole long story short, I taught myself how to code, and 3 years later, this is what we have, right? It's an AI powered platform that really, I mean, you're seeing it now in action, right? It just gave us our strategy, our bot. I'm gonna name this just like this. You can go over down here, name it, right? We're gonna name it so day 12. And this is going to be 4. And I'm actually just going to put your YouTube name, right? Just literally copy it just like that. Oh, just like that right there. And I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. I guess they're not necessary, right? Cool. So we'll press save. And we should see that there. Cool. Let's update this. I'm not sure why it's not updating right there. Maybe the name is like super long, honestly. Yeah, I think the name might be too long. So we'll get rid of some of this name. I'm going to just do inside bar breakout strategy. Just simplify it a little. Press save. Hopefully that's not too long and it'll be able to, yeah. So there it is. The name is saved now. And now, again, it gives us all of the description. It gives us settings. We can adjust this later if we so choose. And then this is where we're going to be launching the actual bot. We're going to test this on NVIDIA. And so let's go ahead and do that. And the reason why we're doing NVIDIA is because from now on, we're only doing NVIDIA so we can test out apples to apples, right? We want everything to kind of be on the same asset so we can test it against the benchmark, the underlying asset, and also all the other strategies that we have running. And this backtest, if you're not familiar with backtesting, it shows you, you know, over the last however many days. Oh man, look at this. Kind of nuts. You know, and when this is like the definition of when it rains, it pours, right? You're taking a bunch of trades here, a bunch of trades here, nothing in between. So weird. Very weird. And I think that's probably because we're combining the SMA with some other stuff, right? So like the SMA triggered here, which enables it to trade, and then it sells here, which shuts down all the trading. And then it probably triggers here, and then it opens up a trading window, right? And so it's really interesting to kind of see how this works. And again, this is probably not an accurate representation of your strategy, Sarah. But again, it took 191 trades, 21.5% win rate, P&L. You know, it's really not that great of a strategy as of right now. Again, it probably doesn't. I know for a fact it doesn't represent your strategy the way you probably envisioned it, but it still is really interesting to kind of see this stuff, right? So again, and this is on options data. And so that being said, again, you could test out, you know, Apple, any stocks. We could also trade Bitcoin or any crypto. But for right now, we're just going to launch this bot on NVIDIA, just like this. So we're going to type in the ticker. We're going to select 5% of our portfolio will be on this. And we're going to set it to paper trading and then actually start this strategy just like that. A few clicks of a button and boom, we are now live. Again, this is Sunday, November 23rd at 11:06 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm based in California. And so the market, when the market opens, this thing will start scanning for trades, right? Scanning for the opportunity to purchase and sell NVIDIA. So anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's, you know, bot launch and also going through all of the different, you know, results from the previous bots. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If you have suggestions or recommendations or you want to see your strategy be tested, feel free to leave it in the comments below as well. If you are into this stuff, you're into trading, you're into AI, you're into technology and automation, subscribe, follow. And if you know other nerds who are into this stuff, share the video, and it really helps out the channel and helps out, you know, me. And I really appreciate it. So anyways, I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.